This is the mystery of why the aloe vera plant blooms, and why most people who own this popular succulent will never see it happen. There are over 300 million aloe vera plants sitting in homes around the world right now. Fewer than 15% of them will ever produce a single flower. Not because they're sick or the wrong variety, but because the average living room is nothing like the Arabian Peninsula's Hajar Mountains. Aloe vera is one of the most recognizable plants on Earth. You've seen it on bathroom shelves, kitchen windowsills, in the skincare aisle of every drugstore. The ancient Egyptians called it the plant of immortality. Cleopatra credited it as a source of her beauty. Archaeologists have pulled remnants of aloe plants from pharaohs' tombs, meaning these rulers literally chose to take this plant into the afterlife with them. Alexander the Great reportedly sailed his entire army to islands thick with aloe vera just to heal their wounds before returning to battle. Soldiers drank the Aesmanan gel straight from the leaves. For at least 6,000 years, humans have cultivated this plant. We've spread it across more than 70 countries and built a multi-billion-dollar industry around the Aesmanan gel inside its leaves. Yet most people don't even know it can bloom. Here's what the bloom looks like. From the center of that familiar rosette of thick green leaves, a single stalk shoots straight up like a spear. It can reach 2 to 3 feet tall, sometimes 4 feet. At the top, clusters of small, pendulous, tubular flowers open up in what botanists call a raceme inflorescence. Each one about 2 to 3 centimeters long, typically bright yellow, sometimes orange or red. The entire display lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, and then it's gone. It's genuinely beautiful and genuinely rare indoors. So what does it take for an aloe vera to bloom? There are 7 conditions, and the plant needs essentially all of them working together. First, maturity. An aloe vera plant must be at least 4 years old before it even has the biological capacity to flower. Plants with fewer than 12 to 15 well-developed leaves rarely attempt it. You can't rush this. A baby aloe doesn't bloom for the same reason a toddler doesn't run a marathon. The infrastructure isn't there yet. Second, and this is the single biggest barrier for indoor plants, sufficient light. Aloe vera needs 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day to build the photosynthetic energy required for a flower stalk. A south-facing windowsill might give you 3 to 4 hours. That's roughly half of what the plant needs. The open sky of the Arabian Peninsula delivers relentless, unfiltered sun. Your apartment does not. Third, winter dormancy through vernalization. This is the one almost nobody talks about. Aloe vera needs several weeks of cool temperatures, ideally between 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit during winter. This cool period signals to the plant that it's the dry season and that spring is coming. Most homes stay heated to 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. The plant never gets the signal. It has no reason to initiate a flower stalk because, as far as it can tell, spring never arrives because winter never happened. Fourth, reduced watering during that cool period. A slight drought stress, watering every 3 to 4 weeks instead of every 2, reinforces the dry season signal. The plant interprets the combination of cool temperatures, reduced water, and shortening days as the onset of a dry winter. That triple signal triggers a hormonal cascade that initiates flowering once conditions improve. Fifth, proper container size and root binding. Aloes actually prefer tight living quarters. A dense root mass appears beneficial for flowering. The recommended container volume is between 15 and 40 liters. Too big and the plant focuses on root expansion. Too small, and it can't build the reserves it needs. Sixth, photoperiod. The changing length of daylight hours matters. Increasing or decreasing daylight duration interacts with light intensity to tell the plant where it is in the annual cycle. And seventh, adequate nutrition. Growers have observed a direct correlation between fertilizing and subsequent flowering, particularly in related aloe species. The plant needs fuel to build that impressive stalk. Here's what makes this so fascinating from an evolutionary standpoint. That flower isn't decorative. It's a precision instrument. The tubular shape of aloe vera flowers is an evolutionary adaptation designed specifically for bird pollination. In its native habitat on the Arabian Peninsula and across Africa, aloe flowers get pollinated by sunbirds, mousebirds, weavers, and bulbuls. Not hummingbirds. There are no hummingbirds in Africa. Sunbirds fill that ecological role with their long, slender beaks reaching deep into the tubular flowers to access nectar at the base. And here's where it gets really interesting. Research published in 2019 in Biology Letters by researchers, including those from Kew Gardens, revealed something unexpected. When scientists compared the effectiveness of specialist sunbirds versus opportunistic generalist birds as pollinators of aloe species, the generalists actually deposited approximately 3 times more pollen on flower stigmas per visit than the specialist sunbirds. The sunbirds, with their slender bills and longer tongues, could often access nectar without effectively contacting the reproductive parts of the flower. They were essentially nectar robbers. The clumsy generalists, bumbling their way in, turned out to be better at the actual job of pollination. Evolution doesn't always optimize the way you'd expect. Now, one fear people have when their aloe blooms is that the plant is about to die. This is a common and understandable concern, but it comes from confusing aloe with agave. Agaves are monocarpic. They bloom once, spectacularly, after 8 to 25 years, and then they die. Aloe vera, a member of the Asphodelaceae family, is polycarpic. It flowers repeatedly throughout its life. After blooming, it simply redirects energy back to vegetative growth and carries on. That said, blooming isn't free. The plant devotes enormous resources to producing that stalk and those flowers, losing approximately 15% of its biomass in the process. It weakens temporarily, but it recovers. And those flowers themselves are more interesting than most people realize. Research published in 2020 found that aloe vera flowers contain bioactive compounds, including gentisic acid with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, at concentrations far higher than in the leaf skin. The flowers showed 1 milligrams per 100 grams of freeze-dried material compared to just 6 milligrams in the leaf skin. They also demonstrated significant antimicrobial activity against multi-drug resistant bacteria. Scientists have suggested that aloe flowers could be a valuable byproduct for the food, cosmetic, and pharmaceutical industries. And yes, the young blossoms are edible, with a mildly bittersweet flavor. Culturally, an aloe vera bloom carries weight far beyond botany. In many Asian and Latin American traditions, an aloe that blooms spontaneously is considered a sign of good fortune, the plant rewarding its caretaker. In Feng Shui, a blooming aloe indicates that the plant has successfully absorbed and neutralized negative energy, releasing positive energy in return. Across traditions, these blooms symbolize endurance and health, Perhaps the most remarkable thing about aloe vera is that we still don't know exactly where it comes from. There are no confirmed wild native populations. The plant has been in human cultivation for so long, spread across so many trade routes, that its true origin remains obscured. An international coalition of scientists from the UK, Denmark, Norway, Australia, Ethiopia, and South Africa, led by Olwen Grace of Kew Gardens and Nina Rensted of the University of Copenhagen, published research in 2015 clarifying that aloe vera is most likely native to the Arabian Peninsula, specifically tied to the Hajar Mountains of northern Oman, but even this is partly inference. The plant doesn't reliably produce seeds in cultivation, which some researchers think suggests a possible hybrid origin lost to deep time. A plant cultivated for 6,000 years, carried into pharaohs' tombs, spread across 70 countries, grown commercially by millions, and it still has secrets. As one grower put it, you can't force an aloe vera to bloom, but you can create the conditions that make it want to. And maybe that's the real lesson here. The bloom isn't a reward for effort. It's a response to environment. Get the light right, let winter be winter, back off on the water, and be patient for a few years. The plant knows what to do. It's been doing it for millennia. It just needs you to stop making it so comfortable.